जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपद्महं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतां I'm reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, text number 49. Viduro api parityajya prabhashe dehamatmanah Krishna veshena tacchitta पितृभिः स्वकश्यं ययो विदुरो अपि परित्यज्य प्रभाषे देहमात्मनः कृष्णवेषेण तच्चित्त पितृभिः स्वकश्यं ययो विदुरो अपि परित्यज्य प्रभाषे देहमात्मनः कृष्णवेषेण तच्चित्तः पितृभिः स्वकश्यं ययो. Word meaning translation and purport. By His divine grace, C.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidura, the uncle of Maharaj Yudhishthira, Api also Parityajya, after quitting the body, Prabhashe in the place of pilgrimage at Prabhasha, Deham Atmanaha, his body, Krishna, the personality of Godhead, Aveshena, being absorbed in that thought, that his chitta, thoughts and actions, Pitrivi, along with the residents of Pitraloka, Swakshayam, his own body, Yayo departed. Translation: Vidura, while on pilgrimage, left his body at Prabhasha because he was absorbed in the thought of Krishna. He was received by the denizens of the Pitraloka planet, where he returned to his original post. Purport: the difference between the Pandavas and that of the Pandava. The difference between the Pandavas and Vidura is that the Pandavas are eternal associates of the Lord, the personality of Godhead, whereas Vidura is one of the administrative demigods in charge of the Pitraloka planet and is known as Yamaraja. Men are afraid of Yamaraja because it is he only who awards punishment to the miscreants of the material world. But those who are devotees of the Lord have nothing to fear from him. To the devotees, he is a cordial friend, but to the non devotees, he is a fear personified. As we have already discussed, it is understood that Yamaraja was cursed by Manduka Muni to be degraded as a Sudra. And therefore, Vidura was an incarnation of Yamaraja as an eternal servitor of the Lord. He displayed his devotional activities very ardently and lived a life of a pious man, so much so that a materialistic man like Dhritarashtra also got salvation by his instruction. So, by his pious activities in the devotional service of the Lord, he was able to always remember the lotus feet of the Lord. And thus, he became washed of all contamination of a Sudra born life. At the end, he was again received by the denizens of Pitraloka and posted in his original position. The demigods are also associates of the Lord without personal touch, whereas the direct associates of the Lord are in constant personal touch with him. The Lord and his personal associates incarnate in many universes without cessation. The Lord remembers them all, whereas the associates forget due to their loving. due to their being very minute parts and parcels of the Lord. They are apt to forget such incidents due to being infinitesimal. This is corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.5. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshmarum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurube Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Tapatakabalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahakana Raghunadhapitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shapisha Kanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastame Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha पतितानां पापनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome all the wonderful devotees. Good morning to everybody. Today is 2nd April 2025 on the Zoom session. Yesterday we had 1.15.47 to 48. And here in this previous verse also, we should learn something like, thus by pure consciousness due to constant devotional remembrance, they attained the spiritual sky, which is ruled over by the Supreme Narayana Lord Krishna. This is attained only by those who meditate upon the Supreme Lord without deviation. The abode of Krishna is known as Golak Vrindavan, cannot be attained by persons who are absorbed in the material conception of life. But the Pandavas, being completely washed of all material contamination, attained that abode in their very same bodies. Similarly, if anybody in this Kali Yuga chant the holy name of the Lord attentively and follow the instructions and guidance by the spiritual master, surely he will also attain the same stage. This has been confirmed in the various shastras. So here, Vidura was absorbed in the Krishna consciousness. There is a wonderful words, Madchitta, Madgata, Pranayanta, Bodhayantischa, Parasparam, Katayantascha, Mam Nityam, Tushyanticha, Ramanticha. Translation is, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So, if two devotees together, they talk about Krishna, how the Lord has performed wonderful pastimes. In this way, they get great pleasure in conversing about Krishna. But unfortunately, people are getting great pleasure in discussing politics and backbiting and so much materialistic activities. Thereby, they have to stay back in this material world. For this reason, in ISKCON, we have wonderful programs. In whatever program we first start with Kirtan, we do Krishna, we hear Krishna Katha, and we end up with Prasadam. Is a completely Krishna conscious package, so that everybody and anybody can able to remember Krishna. So here Vidura is, Machitta Madgata Prana, Bodhayanta Parasparam, Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanticha Ramanticha. She is always absorbed in the thought of Krishna and his activities. That's why he has been, empowered by Krishna to remember him even at the end of his life. Okay. So in the present words, Viduro api parityajya pravasya dehamatmanaha. Krishna Veshena Tachittaha Pitribi Swakashyam Yayo. So Vidura, while on pilgrimage, because he did not want to witness the war of Mahabharat. So he went for a pilgrimage. And finally, he left his body at Prabhasa because he was absorbed in the thought of Krishna. Now, He was actually, Yamaraj, as you know very well. So because of uh, his small mistake, actually it is not mistake, it is a plan of Krishna only. So Krishna has created this plan. He made him Yamaraj do like this so that it happened, and it was not mistake of even Yamaraj also. So here it is mentioned that uh, Manduka Muni was punished. Actually, what happened? There is a small story. Once upon a time, there were some great thieves. They plundered something, and finally they came to Manduka Muni ashramam, and they were staying there. And even the police constables chased all these thieves. And finally, they entered into Mandakamuni ashram. And unfortunately, along with all the thieves, this Mandakamuni was also arrested. And he was taken to the court of the king. Then he was punished with a lance, and he was about to be killed also. This was the thing about to happen. In the meanwhile, king came to know that he was a great money. By mistake, he was arrested. Immediately, he came and he begged his forgiveness at the feet of Mandakumani and released him. Then Mandakumani thought, okay, why did it happen to me? I am a devotee of the Lord. And I was doing my devotional service very nicely. In between, these thieves entered, and I got arrested. How did it happen? So then he asked Yamaraj, why did it happen? Then Yamaraj revealed the truth. He went back and he opened his CCTV, which got recorded. And he was mentioning, you see, in your childhood, you pierced a small ant, and no, you troubled that ant with great difficulty. That's why you have this punishment. Then Mandak Muni thought, that was in my childhood. Normally, a child is an innocent. How can you, for innocent thing, how can you do this kind of punishment? It is not tolerable at all. Then Mandak Muni punished Yamaraj. He became a Shudra in this material world. Then the result is, Yamaraj came to the material world as Vidura. Actually, Vidura is a son. He was born for Vyasdeva and a maid servant. And that's why he became a Sudra. Though he was a son of a maid servant, but he was given the proper privilege in Hastinapura because the maid servant was the maid servant of Ambika. That's why he was properly, respected, and he was given certain position, property, etc. And he became the best advisor for Dhritarashtra especially. But Duryodhana did not like him, and he appointed his own uncle as a chief advisor of Hastinapura, that is Shakuni. So because of his hearing, Duryodhana really got into trouble. Had he heard about Vidura and his instructions and guidelines, and there was a peace, but Duryodhana missed it. Okay, we will move forward. What happens later? So, so because of the curse of Mandakumani, Yamaraj came as Vidura, and he was nicely discharging his duties. But he did not want to witness any war. He went back. He went to the Prabhasha Kshetra, and he left his body there. So here we can understand that what was the service done by Vidura. Vidura, he is a scholarly person, and he is none other than Yamaraj itself. And there were so many. He is made CEO of hellish planets. As you know, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that there are 28 hells of 28 types of hells out there. And I will just read out what is the duty of Yamaraj, how does he performs means. He has to look after all these uh, karmi people, those who have done a lot of papa, and he is very busy in giving different types of punishments, and that punishment should be perfect. There should not be any mistakes or dilution, because he has been appointed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has to execute this duty. So here in 5.26 in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami describes there are 28 hells: Tamishra, Andatamishra, Raurava, Mahararava, Kumbhipaka, Kalasutra, Ashipatrava, Shukar Mukha, Andakupam, Krimibhojanam, Sandasham, Taptasham, Vajrakanta Salmai, Paitarani, Piyoda, Pranoradha, Vaishashana, Lala, Paksha, Sashrameyadana, Avichi, Ayafana, Ksharakandama, Rakshogana Bhojana, Sulaprota, Dandashoka, Avata Nirodhana, Paryavartana, and Suchimuka. These are the 28 types of hells. Maybe a living entity in material world, he may escape a court of law by giving bribe to a judge, or misleading the truth. But he cannot escape the court of the Yamaraj, because he has been already, video, audio, everything recorded, and there is no chance of escaping from his court of law. And also different types of uh, papa, whatever we do, and the punishment has to be awarded accordingly. It should not be either this side or the that side. The exact punishment has to be given. That is given by Yamaraj. So, one or two punishments I will just read out. A person who steals another's money, or another's wife, or another's possession is put into the hell known as Tamishra. And a man who tricks someone and enjoys his wife is put into the extremely hellish condition known as Andhatamishra. A foolish person absorbed in the bodily conception of life, who on the basis of this principle maintains himself or his wife or children by committing violence against other living entities, is put into the hell known as Raurava. And there are animals he killed, take birth as creatures called Rurus, and cause great suffering for him. Those who kill different animals and birds and then cook them are put by the agents of Yamaraja in the hell known as the Kumbhipaka, where they are boiled in an oil. I think this is most famously known punishment. Like that, in these 28 types of hells, Yamaraj, gives punishment. But at the same time, Yamaraj is also very busy, and he didn't have any time. But in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that devotees, they don't have to fear any kind. And if they are very sincere in their Krishna consciousness, and Krishna recommends so that Yamaraj will not punish them. And even Yamaraj supports them and cooperates them. Even he instructs his constables, Yamadutas, you don't go those who are wearing tilak, you don't go those who are wearing a kantimala. And like that, there are various instructions. Even, wherever there is a Harinam Kirtan, you don't go there, you don't take them, you don't arrest them. Like that, Yamraj gives a lot of instructions to the Yamadutas. Okay, so moving forward, some more mm, messages we can extract from this verse is, as we have already discussed, it is understood that Emerald was cursed by Mandakuni. Okay, this we have done. Some key points I could able to observe here is um, guidance that matters. The previous verse and this verse, it is mentioned that the devotees of the Lord, they are supposed to take guidance of a spiritual master and follow his instructions. Thereby, they don't have to come back, stay back in this material world, but they can go back to Godhead, because the Guru is the one who is representing the spiritual Supreme Lord. In this way, we are supposed to take his guidance. Another point I like to mention is, uh, those who is in execute devotional service systematically. Yeah, the systematic type of devotional service is very wonderful. Uh, it is like, Guru gives instructions, and we are supposed to follow in a systematic way, like by worshipping the Lord, by taking nicely decorating their lordships on the altar, and offering them, flowers and perfume, and singing songs and giving arati. And it's not that one day affair, but we should do this deity worship on daily basis and without any break. Normally, when a festival comes, people, they decorate their altar very gorgeously. Then, next day, they're fully tired, and they do the deity worship only when next festival comes. So, Vaikuntha Ekadasi, they do it. And the next festival, Deepavali only, they again, clean up the altar. So this is not actually recommended. So systematic, disciplined devotional service means every aspect of deity worship we have to take care. And while doing japa also, we should be very careful, and not to mispronounce it, and to pronounce it very properly, and hear the same very attentively. And this is a kind of, systematic way of doing the devotional service. And also, there should not be any holiday for devotional service. Sunday is there. Okay, Sunday is a holiday. I can sleep very nicely. I can wake up late. No, that is not a discipline. We should wake up daily. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Daily we should wake up, we should take bath, we should chant the holy name of the Lord, we should take a devotees association, read Gita Bhagavatam. And this is a kind of, disciplined. Initially, it may be difficult for us, but over a period of time, it becomes very sushukam. Then the devotee feels a kind of pleasure. Okay, we can move forward. Here in this sloka, it is mentioned that the demigods are also associates of the Lord without a personal touch, whereas the direct associates of the Lord are in constant personal touch with Him. So the Lord can give authority to His devotees, and He can appoint them into various planets also. For example, sun god has been appointed in the sun planet, like that moon god also, like that Indra has been appointed is the CEO of heavenly planets. They need to execute their service very diligently, being grateful to the Lord, and they should not misuse the power. Sometimes the demigods misuse the power, and thereby, they have been punished by the Lord. Again, they will come to their own senses and thinking that Krishna is the supreme Lord. So in this way, there are so many incidents happened in the history. So the Lord and his personal associates incarnate in many universes without cessation. So, how Vidura, like how Yamadharmas appeared as Vidura in the material world, because it is the Lord's plan. Lord has a specific purpose here. The Lord, has done this to enlighten all of us, and also the Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was, very sense-gratified personality. He wanted to rule the kingdom. He wants kingdom for his own sons. Then Vidura did not like this. See, you are supposed to, give away the property which belongs to your brother's sons. You cannot occupy, you cannot usurp others' property. It is a sin. And this Vidura also, he got a kind of attachment with his son, with his brother. So that's why he came back to Hastinapura again, and he warned, he enlightened Dhritarashtra. It is time for you to vacate the house because you are living, you become a parasite. You are living on the mercy of the Pandavas. Then hearing this, he had an eye opening, and Dhritarashtra quit home, and he reached forest. At least he got a different type of liberation. And this all happened by the virtue, by the teachings, by the mercy of Vidura to Dhritarashtra. And also today we are hearing about Vidura means this is a Lord's plan. Had Lord not planned that Yamaraj should become a Vidura means we would not have heard about Yamaraj and his teachings, etc. So finally, the Sarvakarana Karanam is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. Okay, fine then. Here I stop. The key points we can summarize is the translation it is mentioned. Vidura, uh, though he left uh, his body at Prabhasishestra, after that he went back to his uh, Pitraloka planet where he had been received by all the diligence of Pitraloka planet because he was nicely executing his service ordered by Krishna, but due to some mistake, he had been cursed to go to the material world. But now the assignment, the job, the project work is over. Then he came back to his abode, Pitraloka, and from there he has to rule. He has to give punishment for the different papis in 28 types of hells. He is very busy. He was busy. He is busy. He will be busy also. So this is called eternal service for Krishna he is doing. Like that, there are various other CEOs in the cosmos. They are ruling very nicely and they are reporting to Krishna also. So foolishly, we cannot say that there are no other living entities in other planets. We cannot say it like that. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will come to know the different planetaries and the administration, the creation of the Lord. Everything is very nicely revealed. Okay, so in any position, we should remember Krishna and serve Guru and Krishna very nicely. Thereby, we will go back to the spiritual world and we continue our service eternally with Krishna. Okay, thank you very much. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna. I keep it open if you have any questions, comments, etc. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Hare
Dandavat
Ram, Hare Ram. Yes, Mother.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Today's verse is like it's an eye-opening Prabhu. Because in Kali Yuga, Padam Padam yes Vipadam Prabhu. Every second there is one or the other Vipadam occurring Prabhu. But through Guru, we can come out of that. When you get connected to Guru and when you do sincere services, whatever the sins what we have done, it will vanish. And Krishna consciousness is so merciful way that it will not let us do any of the crimes, Prabhu. And when you listen to your guru and you follow his instructions, that is more than enough. It is the path to Goloka Vaikuntha. This is my realization. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vedagami Mataji. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for a nice explanation of this verses, Prabhu. Here, I like that how Prabhupada says demigods are associations of Lord without personal touch, which means other direct associates are in constant personal touch. That very nicely Prabhupada is giving us the explanation. Thank you, Prabhu. And Vidura, going back to Pitruloka, I heard somewhere that till then, the administrative in charge was given to his brother Arya. Correct, Prabhu, that is?
Yes, that is correct.
So he goes back and takes back his position as Yamaraj that way, Dharmaraja.
Yeah, so the material world is such a difficult place.
Yeah.
See, if somebody is put in charge and automatically he's become egoistic and he wants to acquire property. Say a businessman is there, he hands over his business to somebody else and he goes somewhere else, and when he comes back there is a chaos. Same way, this Aryama, this fellow also did some mischief. So anyway, that's a different story. One more time we can discuss.
Okay, okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much
Hare
for the
Krishna.
very nice class, Prabhuji. Prabhu, my realization is in this verse is like thanks to all our parampara and our leaders who have brought us to into Krishna consciousness to practice this bhakti. So only by practicing our bhakti that can be escaped from Mayama. So Krishna will protect us and Krishna will empower that Yamadutas will never come near devotees. So by just practicing Krishna consciousness consistently and religiously and fully faith on this Krishna consciousness, Krishna will always protect all his devotees. So it is very clear message in this verse, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mother. So though we are cursed, does not matter. If you continue your devotional service nicely, surely you will be relieved of that curse by the mercy of the Lord. Just like the Lord is the father of everybody. Just like a father engages all his children, like he knows who does best. Father can engage one son because this son, he can do some hard work, means he can assign hard work. And father engages his daughter into some other work. Like father knows whom to engage, what to engage. We need to abide by the father. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So when Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj was telling how important it is to follow the instructions of the spiritual master in Guru Agnya, he was mentioning that there are three things. That is, first you take the shelter of the Guru, and then you take initiation of the Guru, and then is following the instructions of the Guru. Maharaj was telling we are very serious when it comes to taking shelter and initiation. But when it comes to following the instructions of the Guru, we become lethargic. But if Maharaj was telling on initiation and shelter, taking that may not please the Guru. But if we follow the instructions, that will please the Guru. So that is what we can see in Vidura also, Prabhu. He followed what all instructions he had received during the Tirtha Yatra. So that is what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good. One thing, what happens? Some devotees, even before initiation, they are very humble, that they do very nice service. They follow Guru's instructions. And by following Guru's instruction, they will surely be initiated. And such devotees, surely they can continue the rest of the life just following the instructions of Guru. This is very important in one's life. Yeah. Guru Agni. Okay. Anybody else?